Hello and welcome to APEX Instant Tips episode number 191. We're brought to you most Fridays at 12:05 Eastern Time. We're your hosts. I'm Anton.
And I'm Marwa. Hi, Anton.
Hi, Marwa. So what do we have today, Marwa? What's going on?
So today we have a tip on how to run a full Apex environment on your own laptop.
Kind of cool, but why do I want to bother doing that?
Well, you will have many benefits. You will have access to an internal workspace. You will get to understand better how the Apex engine works. You will get to see the Apex packages and functionalities, and also you will interact with ORDS, which is great opportunity to learn more about ORDS.
Okay, and I think those are all great reasons. Especially, I think a lot of folks they don't get access to an internal workspace. They don't know how to configure that. But also, ORDS has some interesting features that if you're running on your machine, you can really dig into. Okay. All right. Well, let's jump in and say first, there are a whole bunch of ways that you can do this, and I'll reference and show the folks at United Codes have a great blog post about this. Um, Everything that we show you, I'll also put on a blog post. They're a little bit different. Ours is about getting you up and running just as fast as you can. The United Codes blog post has a lot more information, and I think it's really worthwhile going through that instead or as well as what we're going to show you. We're going to give you sort of what I would say is across platforms, across on machines that are um, relatively underpowered on most laptops. This should work just about everywhere, and it's a pretty streamlined set of steps. 9 steps that we'll talk about pretty quickly, and these 9 steps, uh, Marwa, I tried to just ask an LLM, how do I get Apex up and running on Oracle Apex up and running on my laptop? And it was terrible. It gave me it gave me all kinds of wrong answers. But then I gave an LLM these 9 steps, and it said, "Can you walk me through these 9 steps?" And I got great responses that time. They almost exactly what we're doing here, which we worked out ourselves. So if you want to skip hours, you can take these 9 steps, you can put those into an LLM, and the LLM will probably walk you through with all the details you need. Although I will say, the LLM did give me one thing that will work, but not right. But that said, um, it's amazing what they can do, but sometimes they need a little guidance. And so we're going to provide that guidance right now. So Marwa, I'm going to kick off the timer. Let's tell me what I would do to get Apex up and running on my machine in 5 minutes.
Yes, so first thing you need to make sure that you have a modern version of Java, and also you install SQL CL if you don't have it on your computer. And then next you will download Docker, install it, and run it if you don't have it, of course. And at that point, you will be able to get the latest Docker image of the Oracle Free database.
Okay. So we'll step folks through all these steps. Great. Okay. So we get the Docker image, and then we'll run that Docker image. When you run that Docker image, it's going to have inside that image a running Oracle database. And that Oracle database will be called FreePDB1, and it's going to be listening on port 1521 for the database listener, which is our typical database listener on 1521. And then Oracle Enterprise Manager will be running on port 5500. But the way Docker works is that it's like a little machine inside our machine. And in order to interact with those virtual ports, 1521 and 5500, you would have to actually be inside the Docker image. You would have to be running SQL from inside the Docker image. You'd have to be running your browser from inside the Docker image to get to there. So because we're not going to be inside the image, we're gonna port forward those so that I can do localhost 1521, and that will pass it off to my Docker image, and localhost 5500 will pass off to my Docker image. And I'll actually just show really quickly that I actually run multiple of these databases at one time. They're internally all listening on those ports, but one of them I've mapped to 5500, the other I have mapped 5501. localhost 5501 passes to the Docker image 5500. Localhost 1522 passes to 1521. But that's just a little bit of, you can run more than these at once, but what you're going to want to do for a simple setup, 1521, 5500. Okay,
Yes,
what's, and, and, and so why do I need to have SQL CL on my local machine then? And why don't I just do all of this?
it it's going to be hard and difficult to have those components like SQL CL and Apex installations on the Docker image. I've tried it and I had to
Well,
do
Apex is inside the Docker image. It is in the database, right? So the Apex will go
it's,
into there.
it's sorry, yeah, I meant SQL CL and ORDS.
Ords. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so I meant those two, and I tried to do it inside the Docker image, and I had to go through extra painful steps. So doing it on your own machine will be better.
I have had the exact same experience trying to get Ords running inside that Docker image was brutal. So yeah, so we're gonna run Ords in on the local machine, talking through that port forward. Okay, great. I can't believe how we've already used up almost all our time. So I'm going to keep talking, Marwa. What else do we have to do? Anything else to do? Oh, I can't hear you. Well, while you try to get your audio worked out, because I can't hear anything you're saying. Mark, can you hear Marwa? Nope. All right. Well, I guess I'll jump in with the last minute. So as Mara was saying, we're going to install Apex from our local machine. So we're going to download Apex onto my local machine. And then from my local machine, I'll install Apex into the free PDB one, download ORDS on my local machine, and I'll install ORDS on my local machine. So I'm going to run you through just a few little things here. Once you're running the Docker image, you can do or once you're running Docker on your local machine, you can do Docker pull this right here. That will download it. You don't actually have to do it in two steps. I like to do this Docker pull first because then when I do this Docker run, things happen a lot faster. So this Docker run, this is where we give it a name. I just call it ApexDB. That's the name of my Docker image. You'll be able to see that in your Docker desktop when you're running Docker. That's ApexDB. I've done it a few times. I also have ApexDB2. Here's where we port forward. This is key. You want to make sure you pass this parameter Oracle PWD. That sets the passwords that are associated with the Oracle database. And you're going to want to do that. Otherwise, you'll get something you won't even know
Yes,
what it is.
yes.
And then, oh, got it.
I will point out to the dash V. That will allow you, in fact, to be able to restore your image if you delete it. You will be having the data and the files on your own local machine.
Yeah, I think that's another great one. Can I just have you highlight again? So what does this parameter do here?
That will be the path on your local machine where you will store the data and files.
Okay,
So
and
in
then
case
this,
the
what's this
mistake,
here?
that's on the Docker machine. That's the path on the Docker machine.
Okay, so we know on the Docker machine that's where your data files are going to be. And what that allows you to do is, so if I were to accidentally delete this Docker image, I will get to keep all of my files here. So I could recreate the Docker image, and if I've done things in there, they wouldn't be gone. So that's, you don't have to do this parameter, but I like to. So good catch on that. And then this is the actual free one. All right, we're at 5 minutes. We're going to go just a little bit longer because, um, well, because sometimes we go over. So a couple other commands that'll be interesting for you to know. This just lets you, the first time you do this, it's going to take a little while. You can use this command right here to just watch the log files as they continue to see that it's progressing. Here, this would allow you to enter inside the Docker environment, and you can test the connection to the database, those kinds of things. And we'll put all of this in the blog post. So once you've got that Docker up and running correctly, you need download and install Apex. Can you run me through that, Marwa? I can't hear you again. Well, I guess I'll keep I'll keep yabbering, and when you get back. Okay, so it's pretty easy to do an install of Apex, and you can just follow the instructions, but it's almost as simple as this. Just make sure you're in the free PDB1 container once you get logged in, and then you just run this command to install it. That installs Apex. It takes 10 minutes or so. You do this command to change the password so that you know the password, and then download and install ORDS. Right here, you just follow directions for downloading and installing ORDS. It's worth going through the steps to do it on your local machine. And this is a key. Everywhere in our notes we say on your local machine. Up here as well, on your local machine, on your local machine. That's where you want to do this. And then what happens is once you got all these things done, you can just go to localhost colon 8080. That's where by default what ORDS will be running on. ORDS/Apex. So if you just do ORDS Apex, you'll get this, and it'll be up and running. This one I've already got going. I would use my admin password that I had in the other one. If I hadn't already been using it, I automatically create another user. But so here, I log in, and I'm fully running. All of this is running on my local machine. Marwa, if I've covered everything, give me a thumbs up. If I need us to keep talking, give me a thumbs down. Okay. All right. Okay. So that is it. I see at least one comment from Rich right here. Let's see what Rich has to say. Right, yes. Okay, so Rich has a great presentation on everything you could want to know about Apex and ORDS and how they interact and all of the settings and all of the instructions. So I definitely suggest that you take a look at that blog post. So we can cover how to do this in about 5 minutes. It really depends on what your internet connection looks like in order to complete this in an amount of time. I'm able to do it. I have an incredibly fast internet connection at my house. Just super lucky in that regard. I can do all of this in half an hour. But Marwa, how long does it take you?
It took me a couple of hours. It
Couple
took
of
me a
hours.
couple of hours, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it depends on it's how long it takes to download these things. But within a couple hours, you can have Apex fully running on your laptop. You don't even need to be connected to the
Oh,
internet at that
let
point.
me explain. Yes, I would like to point out that I made some mistakes. So it
Uh,
would take me less than a couple of hours following those steps.
oh, okay. Good, good. But the biggest amount of time is downloading those files, right? How long it takes to get those things done. So I definitely think it's worth it to do. I think you learn a lot just doing the install process, but you also have the opportunity to interact with these things. We're way over time today. People have wasted a perfectly good 14 minutes listening to this instead of our 5 that we're supposed to be in. But I think it's worth it. I will get that blog post out shortly within the next, I don't know, week, let's say. Um, and I have nothing else, Marwa. How about you?
I would like to thank you so much for those beautiful steps, and I apologize for the internet connection that I had, or I think I was muted for a couple of minutes, but I was listening there.
Excellent. Well, look, the truth is, Marwa, you put together most of this, so I get to read. So excellent. Okay, so I guess we'll see folks not next week. I'm on vacation, but the week after that. All right.
Yes,
Do all the things. Send a letter to your mom, tell her about the show, subscribe, like, X about it. Is that what I don't even know. So, all right.
thank you. Bye.